Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be doing what I hope will be a fun thing where I am going to be presenting 4 books that are all book 1 in a trilogy. One of them's a longer series, but book 1 in a series. And all are books that are on my MBR shelf, or my MBR I shelf. I put a bunch of books on a specific shelf and did this, and I mentioned a lot of them a while back in an MBR video, but I still have actually not gotten to many, because between buddy reads and review copies, I've had not a lot of time to get to other things I was planning on reading, and so because of that, I decided to pick some. These are all books that I own for the trilogies. I own the whole trilogy already. And for the other book, I have several books in the series already too. So I have a lot of books. I want to try them out, see if they're going to work out, if I'm going to keep them, continue, or not. And so I thought this would be a good way to do it. So let's take a look at these books. What we'll do is you just comment in the comments which one you want to vote for. You can do a list of 1 through 4 if you want, or you can just pick one. When I did this for picking a TBR book before, I had the same thing, and I did 5 books at the time, and then one of them got like no votes, and so I'm like, I'll just stick with 4. 4 seems like a good number for you to pick. So you can pick, and then I will look, and if it's a tie, then that's when I'll look through like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th choices, all that kind of stuff like that, and go from there, and we'll see where it is. So the voting I'll leave up for 2 weeks. So you get 2 weeks to get your votes in via comment, and then I will mention in the next update after that which one ends up winning, and going from there. But let's jump in. So the first one is An Illusion of Thieves by Kate Glass. This is the first in the Chimera. You'd think I would have checked first. I'm pretty sure it's Chimera is what it's called. But this is one of those ones that doesn't say, so I think I've had to look it up before. But anyway, Illusion of Thieves is book 1 here in this series. It's got a blurb from J.N.E. Wirtz, which is always good, and I do have this whole trilogy. So let's read this one. This says, in Catania, being a sorcerer is a death sentence. Romy escapes her hardscrabble upbringing when she becomes courtesan to the Shadow Lord, a revolutionary noble who brings to all laws and comforts once reserved for the wealthy. When her brother Neri is caught thieving with the aid of magic, Romy's aristocratic influence is the only thing that can spare his life, and the price is her banishment. Now back in Beggar's Ring, she has just her wits and her own long-hidden sorcery to help her and Neri survive. But when a plot to overthrow the Shadow Lord and incite civil war is uncovered, only Romy knows how to stop it. To do so, she'll have to rely on newfound allies, a sword master, a silversmith, and her own thieving brother, and will need the very thing that can condemn them all. Magic. So this one sounded pretty interesting. None of them are super long either, so a shorter trilogy always a good thing. That's something that these mostly have in common. They're all like not terribly long books as well. But so I've had that one for a bit and haven't gotten around to quite starting it. Next up is Blood of an Exile by Brian Nasland. And this one is, what's the series called? Why do none of you say what the series is called? Seriously, when did they stop putting the name of series on books? Because that seems to be a thing I've had. I just looked at book 2, it also doesn't say. I could look it up on Goodreads. I'm not going to, because they haven't told me, so we're just going to talk about the book. But Blood of an Exile, this is the first in a trilogy. I remember this is the one I joked about, because I've seen this around and never wanted to get it, because I thought it was going to be one of those like kind of fantasy romance type things, and apparently it's not at all, and I've heard good things, and so I had gotten the 3. So this one is Bershad Was Supposed to Die. Bershad stands apart from the world, the most legendary dragon slayer in history, both revered and reviled. Once, he was Lord Silas Bershad, but after a disastrous failure on the battlefield, he was stripped of his titles and sentenced to one violent, perilous hunt after another. Now he lives only to stalk dragons, slaughter them, collect their precious oil, dragon oil, and head back into the treacherous wilds once more. For years, death was his only chance to escape, but that is about to change. The king who sentenced Bershad to his fate has just given him an unprecedented chance at redemption. Kill a foreign emperor and walk free forever. The journey will take him across the dragon-infested mountains, through a seedy criminal underworld, and into a forbidden city guarded by deadly technology. But the links of fate bind us all. So, sounds pretty cool. Dragon Slayer's got to go do an assassination, and yeah, That does sound a lot cooler than the cover would have me believe. But that's why I have those books as well, and I have that whole trilogy also. Then we have, speaking of, these ones have really cool covers. The last one has the coolest cover by far. But For the Killing of Kings by Howard Andrew Jones. And this, let's check. Does this one tell me what the series is called? Because I don't honestly remember what this is called either. No. Am I missing it? Because I swear these stopped. And I don't know when they stopped saying like book 1, book 2, but oh well, we're just not gonna say. We're not gonna do series in this one because apparently authors don't want me to mention what a series is called anymore, or publishers, I suppose, really. But For the Killing of Kings, so this is also a trilogy of kind of shorter ones, very cool covers, which is why I ended up picking them up, and I think I got them all in Book Outlet. So this one we have. Their peace was a fragile thing, but it had endured for 7 years, mostly because the people of Drasus and the king of the Naor hordes believed his doom was foretold upon the edge of the great sword hung in the Hall of Champions. Unruly Naor clans might raid across the border, but the king himself would never lead his people to war as long as the blade remains in the hands of his enemies. But when the Squire Alanai's aging mentor uncovers evidence that the sword in their hall is a forgery, she's forced to flee Drasus for her life, her only ally the reckless, disillusioned archer Kirkconnell. Framed for murder and treason, pursued by the greatest heroes of the realm, they flee into the dangerous, ever-shifting lands beyond the border. While they face monsters and world-shaping storms as they search for the real sword, the brilliant Varama and roguish Ryland plunder a hero's tomb and infiltrate the Hall of the Mages, uncovering a conspiracy that leads all the way to the Durasan Queen and her secretive advisors. The four must find a way to clear their names and set things right, all while dodging friends determined to kill them, and the Naor hordes invading at last with a new and deadly weapon. So yeah, this one I remember, like the only thing stopping the war is the sword, and they find out it's a fake. Pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think these are supposed to kind of sword and sorcery-esque. And the at least like the third book, that I love the cover. It's got a big dragon on it. So another one, I have the whole trilogy, had it for a while, and have not actually got into it. So that is that one. And then finally, which I said I'm not even gonna look. I'm not even gonna look. I don't think it actually says what this one is either. And I know what this series is called, as I remember, but I'm not gonna say it because it doesn't say it on the book. The last one we have is The Curse of Chalian by Lois McMaster Bujold. I actually have had 3 other books in this series that have the series that remain nameless, that have different covers, but then I found this one at Half Price Books in really nice condition, hardcover too. This is the first book. They're kind of different chronologically, but this is the first published book, and so I had grabbed it. And this one we have, let's go here. On the eve of the Daughter's Day, the grand celebration that will honor the Lady of Spring, one of the 5 reigning deities, a man broken in body and spirit, makes his way slowly down the road to Valenda. A former courtier and soldier, Kazarel has survived indignity and horrific torture as a slave aboard an enemy galley. Now he seeks nothing more than a menial job in the kitchens of the Dowager Pravinkara in the noble household where he served as a page in his youth. But the gods have greater plans for this humbled man. Welcomed warmly, clothed and fed, he is named, to his great surprise, secretary tutor to the Royess Exile, the beautiful, strong-willed sister of the impetuous boy who is destined to be the next ruler of the land. But the assignment must ultimately carry Kazarel to the one place he fears even more than the sea, to the royal court of Cartagos, rife with intrigues and lethal treacheries. In Cartagos, the powerful enemies who once placed Kazarel in chains and bound him to a Roknari oar now occupy the most lofty position in the realm, beneath only the Roya himself. Yet something far more sinister than the scheming hangs like a sword over the royal family, a curse of the blood that taints not only those who would rule, but those who stand in their circle. The life and future of both Exile and her entire blighted House of Chalian lie in dire peril. The only recourse left to her loyal, damaged servant is the employment of the darkest and most forbidden of magics, a choice that will indelibly mark Kazarel as a tool of the miraculous, and trap him, flesh and soul, in a maze of demonic paradox, damnation, and death for as long as he dares walk the 5-fold pathway of the gods. And that also is a pretty great introduction here. So the other ones I know sounded interesting, and the funny thing is I was about to start with the first one I have, because I think chronologically it's first, but then I found this, so I still grabbed this. So I have 4 books in the series from Lois McMaster-Bujold. Very interested to try. This is an author that I had heard very, very few things about, but from the few people I knew who were familiar, it sounded like they enjoyed it. So that is the 4th book there. So those are the 4 books that we have once again. An Illusion of Thieves by Kate Glass. Blood of an Exile by Brian Nasland. For the Killing of Kings by Howard Andrew Jones. And The Curse of Chalian by Lois McMaster-Bujold. So put your votes in. We get 2 weeks from when this video comes out, and then we'll reveal the winner. And I will be making sure to bump that up immediately and start one of these series. So I'm excited to see which one it ends up being. And hopefully you guys are familiar with some of these, or just based on the descriptions. So I read the descriptions just in case you aren't. Pick one, and hopefully I'll end up enjoying it and having a great time reading it. That's it for this one, though. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description for, as always, the Wizardly Duo Discord if you want to chat books, whether these books, other books, any books, really anything at all. It is a lot of fun, and we would love to have you. And, of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.